Welcome back into another week of Coach's Corner. We are now in the full swing of things for the Iowa high school baseball postseason with sub-state battles all around. And joining us today is SBL's Matt Nelson. And Coach, in true postseason fashion, you have a walk-off home run to take the win over Lamar's. What has it been like now to just relive that moment again?
Well, it was a super exciting game. We knew in that game that it was going to be a very difficult challenge right out the gate. Lamar's, as a team, we have a lot of respect for. So knew it would be a really, really good battle. We were able to kind of be ahead early. They kind of bounced back and took the lead, and our kids were able to kind of bounce back after that and tie it up. And we got the big hit at the end to kind of get us over the hump there.
And just the fight that this group showed. Baseball, we all know, can be such a tough mental game sometimes. But to see them show that confidence, how important was that?
Sure. Yeah, that's a huge part of our program. We always talk to the guys about it's not easy. Baseball is a huge game of failure. So you have to continue to try and find ways to help your team win, whatever that might be. And we had a lot of different guys step up in a lot of different ways for us yesterday and the whole season.
And just your guys' conference, that's tough in itself. Yeah. The schedule you play, I know you had some tough non-conference opponents as well. How does that really help set you guys up for success in these big moments like this?
Sure. Yeah, I've been very vocal about the Missouri River Conference just as a conference overall. It is really tough baseball every single night that you're playing in the league. You're playing solid teams from this area and down in Council Bluffs. And then, yeah, we challenge ourselves. That's become kind of a staple of our program, too. We want to try and challenge ourselves against some of the best teams that we can in the state. So on our weekend and non-conference schedule, we want to go and play teams and kind of see how do we stack up against some of those guys.
And just the history of SBL baseball, always coming up with success at the state tournament last season. Back with a new group this season. What is it that's kind of made this group special this year?
We do have some kids that are kind of hangovers from last year's team, but we also have a really, really strong sophomore class. So it's an interesting breed to kind of mix them together. We've got 7 seniors who have been through a lot of it and been in big games and done big things. But then we have some younger kids who are now kind of figuring out how to play at that varsity level and really playing some big important spots for us. And have helped us get some big wins throughout the year.
I remember seeing something last season before the state tournament. You said you were taking a fairly young group into the state tournament. What have you seen that group grow into now at this point this season?
Man, I think their resiliency is something that I've really, really been proud of. They're a group of kids that don't really get too worked up when things aren't going well, but they're also a group that don't get too high on themselves when things are going well. And we've kind of just told them the most important day of the season, the most important game of the season is always the one we're in. And I think they've kind of, over days and days and weeks and months of us kind of continuing to harp on them, I think they've kind of understood that and realized, yeah, we've got to be where we are at the moment. And it's not going to be perfect because baseball is a game of failure. You're not going to be able to go out there and get a hit every time or strike everybody out every time on the mound. But they find ways to help each other to win the games, and that's really special.
Finding a way, that's kept this postseason run alive. Now you face MOC Floyd Valley. I know we've already faced them once before. What are the thoughts heading into this big one this week?
Man, we talk a lot about the Missouri River Conference, but just baseball in Northwest Iowa, in my opinion, is just super salty. And the 3A sub-state that we're in, when you look at the bracket, there's 5 or 6 teams that if they play well and they've got their top pitchers throwing, it's going to be a really, really tough night. So that challenge won't, it'll be there on Monday against a good MOC team up at MOC in Orange City. We'll just have to kind of take it one pitch at a time and see how we can do.
Definitely. Well, I know it's been a special journey for you at SBL, from playing to now coaching. When you just reflect on that time, how much has this all meant to you?
Man, SBL baseball is super, super important to me. It's a big part of my life. It's always been a big part of my life. To be able to be, a kid who grew up in Sergeant Bluff, to then, be able to be a high school baseball player there a long, long time ago. And then when I got into teaching and coaching, being able to get back to Sergeant Bluff and be an assistant coach for Coach Admire, who's, a Hall of Fame type coach, and to be able to learn a lot of things from him. And then when he retired, to be able to continue that. And, that's always been a big goal of mine, is that I want to make sure that Sergeant Bluff baseball continues to be, one of those top programs that people talk about. And we've been fortunate enough to have some success lately, and hopefully that can continue.
And this is such a special time for these athletes too. A memory like a walk-off win like that. How much do you cherish just being able to be a part of this special time in their lives as well?
Yeah, it's cool. I kind of try and tell them sometimes, and they don't listen to me about this type of stuff like kids usually don't, but you will think back in 5 or 10 years and you won't really think about the wins or the losses, but you're going to think about, hanging out with your buddies after practice, something crazy that happened on the bus ride home one day, just the fun stories, the fun jokes, just all those good experiences that you get to have on the field, but also just, being with your buddies and having that chance to have those relationships. So, that's what it's all about. That's what sports are all about.
Definitely. Very special for sure. Well, the Warriors, they'll be back in action as they take on MOC Floyd Valley for the second round. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it.